VivaTech, a global event for technology and innovation taking place in Paris. It's day 2. I'm here with Thiemo van Spellen, our Group Global Accounts Managing Director. Hello, Thiemo.
Hello.
So, being at VivaTech, what is your first feeling, your first impression about the event?
Yeah, it's my first time at VivaTech actually, and it's a big event. It's really big. I mean, high energy, colorful, a lot of new technologies shown here, and a lot of people. It's busy. So so far, my first impression is really good.
Okay. Talking about technology, technology also applies to food. You just took part this morning at a roundtable about how the different restaurants are reinventing themselves from order to delivery. What is your main takeaway?
Yeah, it was a nice round table. There was different, very different companies around the table. So tech companies and of course us as the last mile delivery company. And it was really about all the changes we see in this whole food supply chain, about consumer behavior that is really changing, putting, let's say, pressure on our development to engage directly with consumers via MyDPD, etc. It was about technological developments like the autonomous delivery vehicles that we touched upon, but it was also about sustainability, and part of sustainability not only being electrification of the delivery fleet and the middle mile, and about pushing out of home, but it was also very much about this local to local concept, like we have with Pour de Bon in our group. Opening local, often biologically produced products for a much wider audience by applying technique and the right data analytics.
Okay, getting back quickly to supply chain, there are lots of evolutions right now. Are there also new D2C services emerging?
Digital services? Yeah, I mean, there was, during the roundtable, there was not so much focus other than, let's say, restaurants and the way that restaurants apply technology to better attract the audience, to make sure that they get back, to already predict, let's say, the type of product that consumers wants to order. So it was mainly focused around that, and it was I think about the technologies like we apply it as well.
Okay. And being at VivaTech is really funny because it feels like traveling in the future. And talking about the future, what are the main steps?
The main steps actually at this fair we are now showing not only the exoskeleton and the autonomous delivery vehicle that DPD UK is testing, and the multi-service locker station with the temperature-controlled locker. But also during this roundtable we talked about the next step, and the next step for me is an example that I saw a few weeks ago when I was visiting China to visit also some customers, and that's where you really see the next level of the application of this type of technology. And just to give you the example, when I was exiting my hotel, there was this locker station outside of the hotel, a yellow one, and all the time I saw these guys on electrical mopeds dropping food boxes and bags, lunches into these lockers, and only a few minutes later the person who bought it picked them up. They were both cool, temperature controlled, so both cooled and heated lockers in there. And that's the way that many Chinese employees order their lunch. So even in the head office of one of these big Chinese companies, we saw that these vending machines where people pick up their coffee or their cold drinks or their snacks, that they simply worked with facial recognition to open the machine, to get the product out, but also to pay for the product on the fly, all based on facial recognition combined with WeChat Pay, with Alipay, etc. But even the people working in that office ordered their lunch online. On every floor, right across the elevator, there were food lockers as well. People received a message on their mobile when their lunch was delivered, and then they could go to that locker box on their own floor, and with facial recognition the box opened and they could collect their lunch. I mean, that for me is next level, and for me I think also an example where this market in Europe is heading to.
So the future is now.
Future is now.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.